Welcome everyone, my name is Rebeka Gergácz. I am a PhD student at Eötvös Loránd University and I am also working as a full-time archaeologist at the Hungarian National Museum. My main research area is archaeological topography, and in the following slides I want to investigate the effect of climate change on topographical research, mainly in Central Europe. Climate change is a part of our present and future, and in addition to trying to slow it down, we also have to learn to live with it and adapt to the new circumstances. This is also true in the case of archaeological research, especially topographical investigation, because the research methods used until now and their effectiveness will probably change along with the climate. In Central Europe, where I am dealing with archaeological topography, the most used research methods are fieldworking, area prospection, and geophysical survey. This is because a big part of the land is used as cultivation plots, where we can collect a lot of artifacts from the surface, and we can easily detect the crop marks of archaeological objects in the growing vegetation. In addition to the above, geophysical prospection is also very popular, since it can be used on plowed fields and on pastures too. But how will climate change affect these methods and their results? At the moment, we cannot know this for sure, but there are some possible scenarios, so let's discuss a few of these. Plowing is an ancient practice in farming, but in the last decades, it has often gone too deep, thus deteriorating the quality of soil and enhancing its erosion. The decline in soil quality led to unsatisfactory crops, needing more artificial nutrients and watering, thus becoming more and more demanding and expensive. Nonetheless, the maintenance of the crop's acceptable quality is still fragile. For example, in the summer of 2022, most of Hungary's maize and sunflower crops dried up because of the unusually hot and dry weather and the inadequate quality of the soil. In order to improve soil quality, farmers will probably stop plowing in the future, as they already did in some places, and will start to use other technologies involving less soil movement, for example non-inversion and shallow cultivation, thus helping it to regenerate. This can help make the crops more resistant, but it also can affect what archaeologists find on the surface of these cultivation plots. During field walking, we usually collect artifacts that were moved to the surface by plowing, but if there is no or much less of it, then the movement of finds to the topsoil will stop, and the ones being already there will become more and more fragmented. As the artifacts become smaller due to fragmentation, it will be harder to detect them, and they can even be destroyed by the chemicals used for the crops, especially prehistoric fragments. Thus, in the long run, the effectiveness of fieldworking may decrease. As climate change progresses, weather conditions will become more and more extreme. Next to the possible modifications in plowing, other factors will probably be changing too. For example, it is likely that precision farming, where the nutrients are distributed according to the exact needs of the crops, will become a daily practice. From the perspective of food security, it is great news. However, it may have negative effects on the area prospection. When investigating with the latter method, we usually find crop marks and soil marks from a bird's eye view. These are areas on the field where the attributes of the crops or soil are different from their surroundings. It is because in the case of negative archaeological objects, like pits or potholes, crops have usually more moisture and nutrients from the backfilling of the pit, therefore they are growing somewhat faster than the others. In the case of positive archaeological objects, such as walls, crops usually have less nutrients and grow slower than the surroundings. However, these are in a lot of cases quite small differences, and the question is, can this be eliminated with precision farming? At the moment, there is very little research, or at least published research on this topic, so we can only make guesses. Precision farming collects data from the harvested crops and then distributes the nutrients based on that in the next season, so there is a chance that it hides the differences that are causing crop marks. So while some places can become harder to investigate from the air, others can become more visible. For example, area prospection has great results in drier years, so with extreme weather could come detailed pictures of sites. Also, in dry years, as water levels decrease, new features like Roman buildings can reappear after a long time. Based on the above, the future of area prospection is diversified, as in some cases it can have better results, while in other cases it can lose its effectiveness. In contrast to the above, geophysics is quite little affected by these changes. It has already proven its effectiveness in several locations and weather conditions, so it will probably be useful in the future too. Next to the methodological factors, we should remember that these fieldworks are done by human beings. While machines and tools can work with roughly even quality, the same cannot be said about people. We lose focus as we become more tired in the field, and weather conditions can also greatly affect our ability to work, or at least the quality of it. With more and more extreme weather, meaning for example extreme heat in the summer, investigating in the open air can become harder and also more dangerous since it can affect people's well-being. This means that elderly researchers and people with medical problems may be at risk during fieldworks. To avoid this, maybe our work schedules will change, like instead of excavations held in the summer, they could be postponed to spring and autumn, or fieldwork could be done in the morning and late afternoon sessions with a break or siesta in the middle of the day, which is an already existing practice in some places. Anyway, we need to make changes to take care of ourselves and not to expose ourselves to unnecessary risks. In the last few slides, you could see some possible scenarios for the future of topographical surveys. Despite the fact that we do not know much for sure on this topic, one thing is certain, that we will have to face a lot of changes and new difficulties, just like we probably will have some new opportunities too. So we should be flexible and open-minded about our future. I hope that you find this topic interesting, and thank you very much for your attention. Bye.